Consider this. One spice that has sat for years in silence in your kitchen might be the key to getting a good night's sleep. The evening without making frequent excursions to the restroom. Many seniors in both India and America, the sense of disturbed sleep inevitable. Something related to aging itself. What if I told you nonetheless that chewing this well-known spice for only 60, just a few minutes before bed could help you relax, bladder, unwind, and replenish? You believe that the deep sleep was gone. Forever? Sleep is more than just feeling slept in the morning. It is the extremely when your brain fixes memories, your beat is restored by the heart, and your immune system gets stronger. When regular you are awakened 2 or 3 times by urinating. Those crucial repairs are made every night. Brief. Fatigue and fogginess are the outcomes. Contemplation, and even a greater chance of tumbles. For this reason, the finding of this mild cure seems nearly magical since it functions with your body instead of as opposed to it. I'm going to demonstrate to you how this basic spice can turn into your silent supporter and why physicians currently think that habit and timing are as important as medication. Before we start, I want to hear your ideas. Where are you viewing this video? At what hour are you viewing it? Kindly post a remark below. I would love to hear from you. Additionally, if you like, please like and subscribe to this content so you don't overlook any future advice created for your mental and physical well-being. The actual reasons why people urinate at night, as the body subtly changes as we age, in ways that are simple to overlook but strong in their point of effect. Among the most significant modifications occur with vasopressin is a hormone that aids urine output is slowed down by your kidneys. At night, when you were younger, this hormone is most active in the evening, letting your bladder remain quiet for 6 or 7 hours of relaxation. After 60, however, the generation of vasopressin decreases, whereas the kidneys continue to filter fluids at almost as fast as during the day. The more urine is generated as a result at the hours when your body requires tranquility, awakening you from your slumber and sending you repeatedly in the direction of the restroom. In addition to this hormonal change, the bladder itself becomes more sensitive. As one ages, when you were younger, it could accommodate almost 16 ounces with ease of fluid prior to delivering a distinct signal to the brain. However, around age 60, the nerves grow more along the bladder wall. Reactive. Even though a half cup of after the liquid has accumulated, the brain gets an urgent notification that reads, "Awaken." This is not a reference to your bladder. Ice health is broken. It indicates that the threshold has decreased. Additionally, what previously felt typical but now causes a restless evening. For many elderly people, this ongoing signaling turns into the cause of silence, annoyance as if their body is taking advantage of them in the very hours of get some rest. In addition to these organic alterations, daily routines frequently make matters worse. Without our knowledge, having 2 drinks, drinking water glasses with dinner, taking pleasure in a bowl of soup following dusk, or enjoying a warm, comfortable cup of milk near everything about bedtime seems innocuous. However, each of these increase the amount of liquid just before the body is attempting to relax. Kidneys, already less productive, are compelled to continue to operate, and the bladder fills at the incorrect moment. What appears to be a tiny indulgence turns as a covert trigger that leaves the mind and induces profound slumber. The next day, the body was exhausted and befuddled. Good morning. Allow me to tell you 2 tales that could seem familiar. In Texas, a retired. The man thought his nights were just the cost of reaching 70. He halted walks in the evening, blaming decrepit age, and simply embraced the weariness. In Kerala, A refined grandmother pondered the same specific place she frequently visits. The restrooms were unavoidable. However, both of them found that aging wasn't the cause, only their behaviors, late night beverages, warm soups, as well as sporadic routines that made them uncomfortable. With tact modifications, both discovered that nights increased more tranquil, brighter mornings, and optimism returned in silence. Thus, if you are having trouble with these nightly awakenings, keep this in mind. Growing older is not a penalty. Your physique is still listening. By being aware of the actual causes and changing minor routines, you can direct oneself back toward the restorative routine of uninterrupted sleep. The miracle spice, a modest spice, exists that has been passed down through the centuries, slumbering peacefully on kitchen shelves, being disregarded despite its hidden power. Fennel is this spice, a recognizable seed renowned for its mild sweetness and calming scent utilized in innumerable recipes worldwide. When before going to bed, chew slowly for 60 seconds. Fennel has an amazing effect on the aging body. It eases bladder tension, concealed stress, and permits the anxious system to get ready to sleep. Time. But it's a secret. If taken too soon, before going to bed, its relaxing effects wear off. Comes. When consumed too late, the digestive disrupts the body's ability to prepare traveler. However, when properly savored roughly 1 hour before to going to bed, the silent power of fennel starts to work, allowing elderly people to lie down without worrying about having another sleepless night. Science provides us with a kind justification for this nearly amazing outcome. Natural oils found in fennel seeds are high in substances such as methyl and anti-inflammatory antioxidants. The bladder lining in elderly people frequently gets a little agitated, causing the brain to receive false warnings that it has to be empty. These substances calm the wall of the bladder and cut down on needless contractions that aid in the organ's retention without having to signal all the time. More significantly, fennel calms smooth urinary tract muscles. It reduces stress and revitalizes seniors' healthcare system balance. In straightforward phrases, eating fennel for 60 seconds. Serene, letting your thoughts stray into deeper slumber. For a lot of elderly people, this reduces the number of late-night treks to the restroom, a more consistent heartbeat, and a more clarity in the morning. Beyond fennel, the science has a cultural narrative that seems both familiar and unexpected. Fennel is used in American kitchens, is frequently regarded as a strange taste, concealed in a spice container that only shows up for a recipe for a holiday or a unique Italian cuisine. Many older fennel seeds might be present in American pantry without ever becoming aware of their India's capacity for peaceful healing. Bifennyl, on the other hand, is a reliable friend to meals every day. Small fennel bowls. Often seeds are placed close to the eating table, served as a digestive help after supper. While many people never taste it, elders do. Link it to your health, bladder, or quality of sleep. This distinction demonstrates to us something significant. Having a cure reachable does not always imply the use of in the proper manner. The elder American might completely disregard it, while the elder from India might take it too soon, supper losing its strongest advantage. The key is awareness, timing, and have faith in the rhythm of your body. For elders worldwide, the idea of sleep disruptions frequently carry unacknowledged anxieties. Will I pass out during the night, strolling to the restroom? Will my memory keep fading with every restless hour? Will my significant other's sleep be disturbed once more, leaving us both weary and disheartened? Fennel is unable to eliminate all fears, yet it can serve as a reminder that care still has an effect on your body. A bunch of purposefully chewed seeds might bring back the peace you believed to be gone. In India and America, elders, those who adopt this practice learn that good health isn't necessarily the result of bottles of medication or trips to the hospital. It can occasionally originate from a little sweet seed you are already familiar with, patiently waiting. In the quiet hours, let Leto become your ally of the evening. Thus, as you consider keep this sweet truth in mind tonight, the learning process in your body is not complete with something as basic as seeds from fennel. When taken at the appropriate moment, you can direct it back to the resting rhythm. This is not magic, it is nature's wisdom, combined with your readiness to adapt. And the place of healing is that close friend, frequently starts, a useful manual for using the seasoning. In relation to fennel seeds or any medicinal spice, the initial action is consistently selecting the appropriate quality. Elderly bodies are more APOA and sensitive. A high-quality spice might cause more damage than excellent. Examine the seeds closely. They should have a soft green hue and be firm, and when handled, emit a faintly sweet scent. Near the nose, if the seeds show up faded, lifeless, or emit a musty odor, they might have spent too much time sitting in storage. Another hidden factor is moisture. Risk because mold can form on wet seeds. That aggravates the bladder and stomach. In America, fennel seeds can be found in grocery stores' tiny spice jars, but verify the date that is printed on label. In India, fennel is frequently purchased from a reliable source, sold in open market cellar, and keep the seeds in your home and in life in an airtight glass container. Insights from senior citizens through direct sunlight. Handle these seeds as you would any tiny gem. Dry, safe, and at your disposal when you need them most. After you have selected the appropriate seeds, and timing turns into the secret to opening their advantage. Fennel is popular among elders after meal as an easy way to refresh your breath. However, for healthier bladders and more restful sleep, the timing must be different. The finest, it's roughly an hour before you lie down to sleep. Consider it a bridge between dinner in the evening and bedtime of rest. This might exist in America. If you often arrive at 10 o'clock, it will be 9 o'clock. In families in India tend to eat later. Fennel eating at about 10:00 may get the body ready for bed around 11 o'clock if you take it immediately following meals. It's possible that seeds digest too quickly, and before you know it, the soothing effect will end, even go to sleep. If you hold off until as soon as you get into bed, your body might be too preoccupied with digesting to completely calm down. About an hour in that peaceful place prior to sleep, fennel does its finest effort. Let's now discuss how to give it a good chew. Don't swallow or hurry. The seeds as a tablet. Put a tiny pinch in your mouth, but only for a half-hour teaspoon. Then start chewing gradually. Let's the flow of natural oils, filling your mouth with their delicate sweetness. As you chew, take deep breaths and let you're ready to settle. About 60 seconds later, saliva will combine with the oils, calming your bladder and digestion nerves. Eat the softer seeds, gradually allowing the body to take in their serene cadence. Numerous elderly people in both America and India characterizes this as a minor nightly custom, akin to a prayer for get some rest. Additionally, eating slowly informs your brain that the day is finished, so you may unwind. When completed patiently, this 1 minute can alter how your evening unfolds. Of naturally, like with all treatments, fennel needs to be handled carefully. More doesn't imply better, and eating a lot could decrease blood sugar or unpleasant stomach pressure too rapidly. A tiny pinch is sufficient. Increasing the dosage by 2 or 3-fold won't make the impact twice. Elderly people who take blood pressure medicine diabetes, or other long-term illnesses ought to speak with their physician at all times, prior to fennel becoming a nightly ritual. And pharmacists in America can offer prompt suggestions regarding drug interactions, as in India, a skilled family physician or you can get guidance from an Ayurvedic practitioner. Consider fennel not as our location for your health treatment, but as a kind partner that collaborates with it. By respecting the appropriate level, selecting the appropriate moment, and respecting your body's requirements, you establish a secure route to brighter mornings and more tranquil evenings. Thus, keep this in mind, my friend. The seasoning is a tool for your body, not a miracle remedy still knows how to utilize. Selected, intentionally chewed with care, and utilized. If you use it wisely, you can get the gift back of deep, uninterrupted sleep. Typical errors to stay away from. For a lot of senior citizens, fennel seeds seem like an easy solution to ruined evenings. However, even an agentic cure can become weaker when combined with the point of bad behaviors. Among the first, one error is consuming excessive amounts of water with the spice to senior health. Numerous elderly. According to news, a big glass of water will clean it. However, this merely fills the bladder, making the kidneys operate when the body ought to be asleep. In both India and America, what seems to be a innocent evening beverage frequently results in 2 or 3 awakenings during the night. In actuality, fennel should soothe the system. Avoid getting submerged in liquid. A tiny sip of medication is acceptable. However, consuming a full glass of water with it at 9 o'clock is practically a guarantee of disappointment. The second error is caused by combining fennel with foods that are really hot or salty. In American homes, this could appear as after being thoroughly seasoned, fennel tea takeaway. In India, it frequently refers to fennel chewing following meals high in chili, papads, or pickles. Salt rises thirst, leading to increased water consumption, whereas spice irritates the lining of the bladder. Nerves are triggered even when the bladder is hardly filled. Already for the elderly sensitive at night, thus this is negligible. The soothing effect of fennel. The better options include consuming fennel seeds in their pure form, following a smaller meal that honors the evening rhythm of the body. Another frequent misinterpretation is thinking that fennel will be the only solution to the issue. Infrequently, poor sleep is caused by a single element, and no spice can remove large meals, late sodas, or lengthy TV-free evenings. Fennel is a aid, not a cure miracle. It is tea, calms the bladder. However, your body still requires equilibrium and consistent hydration during the early meals and daylight activities. In the absence of these, even the natural strength will diminish. Think about the narrative of a Florida granny. She gnawed fennel consistently every night in the hopes that relief, but still consuming soda at 9 o'clock. She was aroused by the sugar and caffeine. Bladder and the additional fluid compelled her to awake all night long. She sensed disheartened. Only when she relinquished the soda and combined the fennel with a previous relaxed schedule did she eventually fall asleep. 6 quiet hours. Later, she grinned and stated, "The spice wasn't the problem. Because I asked it to do too much, let these teachings be a peaceful remind yourself. You can use fennel as an ally, but only when backed by sensible decisions. Reduce your nighttime alcohol intake. Consume more food in a light manner. Honor your body's needs and allow the spice to operate quietly. In that calm nights are a gift of equilibrium and more radiant mornings, the more advantages that go beyond sleep. When senior citizens, when kids initially learn about fennel seeds, they typically consider their function in easing urinating during night. However, this modest spice subtly accomplishes a lot more, providing strength and comfort to the body in ways that transcend slumber. Fennel's greatest talents is its tactful assistance with digestion. As people mature, their stomach and intestines function more slowly, resulting in many elderly people who are bloated, heavy, or unpleasant gas. The organic oils in fennel seeds ease intestinal tension, muscles, facilitating the easy passage of food and lessening cramps. A senior in New Jersey revealed that she shunned family dinners because to persistent bloating. However, after eating fennel, she was able to ease and assurance. In Kerala, a lot of after meals, elderly people chew fennel without recognizing the extent to which it facilitates digestion. It, after eating, brings back lightness. Its soothing effects are an additional advantage, impact on stress and circulation. The same substances that help the bladder relax additionally ease blood vessel tension, hypertension, and heart support. For elderly, controlling hypertension, or live with a daily strain that is calm, fennel can provide observable comfort. A cup of tea will not take the place of prescription medication, but it helps lessen the physical strain on the body. Imagine an Ohioan grandma sitting on, at sunset, drinking fennel tea on a porch. Her shoulders relax, her breathing slows, her heart feels lighter as a result. In India, an elder leaving the temple and making his way home, prayers might feel like chewing fennel, similar mental and chest calm. These small gestures serve as a reminder that health is about harmony and tranquility, not just preventing illness. Moreover, fennel is abundant in antioxidants that safeguard the brain, heart from slow harm brought on by age and stress. Elderly people who are afraid heart deterioration or memory loss are common feelings, encouraged when they come upon such natural allies. A weary educator in Fennel made Boston feel sharper. To her nights, as a grandfather in the Chennai, observed decreased weight in his chest and greater vigor to participate in the community happenings. These don't happen overnight, marvels, but gradual progress in dignity and tenacity in later life. Lastly, Fennel bridges cultural divides in reassuring methods. In the U.S., it frequently shows up in blended herbal teas, containing mint or chamomile, providing soothing prior to going to bed. It illuminates things in India. Masala rests or combines in tiny bowls. After supper, discreetly encouraging both circulation and digestion. In both locations, older people might like the taste without being aware of the hidden deeper gift within. Thus, keep in mind that fennel is not merely a spice. It calms the stomach, safeguards the heart, calms the mind, and gracefully helps day-to-day living. Additionally, in that consistent cadence, it gives optimism that it is still possible to be comfortable as you age. Tranquility and clarity. Easy routines that aid in deeper sleep. Rest well. Later years is not solely influenced by supplement or medication, but also by tiny, consistent routines that direct the body returning to the point of balance. Among the most straightforward and efficient is a brief stroll in the morning. Only 15 minutes of slow walking outside strengthens the legs to expel excess fluid that would else gather over extended periods of seated. After this fluid is removed early, there is less strain on the kidneys and the bladder stays quieter during night. And an elderly man in Arizona observed that including his morning stroll, the nights became lighter, and he woke up less, and his self-assurance subtly came back. Another mild change entails how we sleep at night. Dozing off on the left side, a plush cushion between the knees lessens bladder pressure and permits more fluid digestion with ease. Initially, this shift could feel awkward, particularly for someone who is accustomed to on the back, sleeping flat. However, a lot of it works remarkably well for elders. A Delhi grandma revealed that she woke up less after making this minor change. Frequently, and her mornings were lighter, stiffness and increased vitality. The body is prompt in rewarding even little deeds of kindness. The bedroom's comfort also carries greater impact than we think. Dense and warm room or nightwear can cause thirst, perspiration, and kidney activity that interferes with sleep. Selecting wearing light cotton apparel and preserving the A temperature range of 68 to 70 degrees helps control naturally occurring temperature. The United States and elders in India have discovered that this one detail can soften and prolong sleep, discomfort during night. Lastly, a couple breathing deeply for a few minutes before bed alerts the nervous system to safety. Taking a deep breath while sitting quietly, the nose and gradually releasing the breath through the mouth aids in the bladder's equilibrium and the relax your mind. A lot of elderly characterize this as a nightly practice. Prayer, a final custom that asks tranquility. When combined, these four behaviors, taking an early stroll, modifying sleeping posture, wearing cozy clothes and at room temperature, as well as practicing peaceful breathing, free of charge, only purpose that is regularly exercised. They remind us that getting a good night's sleep is still conceivable even as the years go by. The truth and misconceptions. Among the most prevalent misconceptions among seniors is the notion that consuming less alcohol drinking water throughout the day will avoid urinating during night. Initially, it sounds rational, yet the body reacts in a different way. When you don't drink enough, your blood thickens a little bit, and the kidneys have to exert more effort later on in the evening. This last minute attempt frequently generates more pee exactly as you lie down, raising the possibility of waking up in the middle of the night. Physicians remind us that the most effective methods for consistent hydration during the morning and early afternoon, followed by a modest taper in the night. A Michigan senior found that by consuming the majority of her water before to 3/4 past the hour, her mornings became calmer and her nights more peaceful, more radiant. One more misconception is that only males had problems with their prostates suffer from frequent nighttime urination. Although the prostate can undoubtedly have an impact on both men and women, encounter the same difficulty. Following menopause and bladder changes, hormone levels, sensitivity, and pelvic nighttime help can be increased. Awakenings. Many elderly ladies experience loneliness or ashamed, thinking it's an issue men should only confront, so they stay quiet. In actuality, nocturia impacts both sexes and acknowledging. This enables women to look for answers without shame. In Kerala, an old woman discovered relief at realizing that her problem was not uncommon, and she might at last talk to her physician about it. The third misunderstanding is the idea that the easy solution is to take sleeping drugs. Although they might compel the body to sleepiness, they don't deal with the bladder cues and frequently maintain equilibrium. Morning alertness and memory are worse. A. Texas granddad revealed that he felt disoriented and drowsy after depending on medicines, but woke up twice every night to go to the restroom. Genuine relief originates from changing routines, relaxing the bladder, and paying attention to the beat. Pills could temporarily calm the mind, yet they cannot produce your body's natural rest, still recalls the show to accomplish. Oh, my, let these facts provide you, friend. Assurance. Urinating at night is not resolved by denial, deprivation, or only medicine. It is run by knowing the little decisions you make every day and mild regard for the way your body is altering requirements. Motivational tales of hope in New Jersey. A pair in their early 70s silently acknowledged interrupted sleep as a component of growing older. For many years, they thought waking up 2 or 3 times every evening was something they just had to put up with. However, exhaustion had a significant impact on their mornings, exhausting them, agitated and reluctant to make plans, things to do with their kids and grandchildren. Gently, their daughter recommended attempting chewed fennel seeds. gradually an hour before going to bed, along with minor adjustments to one's way of life. Initially, they questioned whether such a basic action could make a distinction, but they decided to give it 3 weeks be the reason for the first week's conclusion. Both observed extended periods of sleep, waking up just once as opposed to multiple times periods. 3 weeks later, they were dozing off, 6 to 7 uninterrupted hours, and they regained their vitality. The spouse revealed that his senior health walking with a guide felt simpler, and his wife said with a smile that she could now finally enjoy breakfast without experiencing fatigue. What started out as a tentative test became a mild pivotal moment, remembering showing them that the body can still express gratitude for even the smallest gestures of take care. A 74-year-old from Kerala, far away, grandmother carried her own silent struggle. For almost 10 years, she missed the excitement of joining in the morning, celebrations and temple assemblies because she was too exhausted from sleepless nights. Everyone at daybreak, she could hear drumming and prayers. However, she felt weighed down and her spirit grew dimmer. A neighbor recommended fennel combined with previous meals, and before going to bed, breathe gently. Doubting she initially chose to try within 2 weeks, she observed a decrease in awakenings, and she experienced lighter mornings. By the third, this week she wore her usual sari and strode with assurance to join the festival that she had stayed away from for years. The laughter, the music, and the colors went back to her family and her life, observed the glimmer in her eyes. She said in a whisper that it was like taking back a she believed a piece of herself was gone, forever. These tales serve as a reminder that healing frequently starts with easy actions, regular routines, and the bravery to once more. Whether in India or America, little adjustments can lead to more relaxation and a more promising future. As let's finish this voyage together, return softly to the center of the message. A basic spice that frequently rests overlooked in the kitchen has demonstrated oneself as a silent ally for senior citizens adults. Chewed gradually and at the ideal moment, it eases bladder tension, minimizes nocturnal awakenings, and permits the ability of the mind to slumber more deeply. However, fennel's gift doesn't end there. Its constituents facilitate circulation, safeguard the brain and the heart, contains antioxidants found naturally. For many elderly people who believe their bodies don't. As we listen for longer, fennel reminds us that little decisions nevertheless have an impact, and that gentle methods can be used to foster health. Constancy. Imagine a softer American now. Good morning. Sitting on their porch is a couple, a hot cup of coffee together, observing the sunrise over the peaceful street. They slept soundly, their peaceful dialogue and their heart's illumination. Picture grandparents in India strolling happily in the morning festival, wearing vibrant attire, surrounded by prayers, music, and giggling. They have regained their sleep as well, and with the vitality to truly embrace life once more. I'll leave you with this then. Blessing. I hope you have peaceful evenings, and I hope you have bright mornings. May daily reminder that recovery is regardless of age, it is still feasible. And if you are moved by this message, I would love to hear your tale. Kindly share your story in the comments section and allow we develop as a community together. Hey, don't forget to click the bell button to subscribe for weekly direction and distribute this video with a loved one. Occasionally, one tiny bit of information can make a big difference. A whole season of